Good morning. Hello, beautiful, beautiful souls. I'm Diane D. Rodriguez of LiveLifeChange.com. I'm a grief educator and a therapist in Melbourne, Florida, and I support the Brevard County area. I help individuals heal their matters of their heart, mind, body, and soul as they mindfully recover from the grief process. Thank you for joining me today, and I just wanted to do a quick recap of our last video and the things that were kind of covered. First, we talked about the benefits of the support group and really kind of getting an understanding of what a support group is. And then we talked about how you could find support groups in your area, individuals that you can be asking, and also organizations that you could be looking into. And today the topic of this video is going to be what questions you should be asking or considering before you join a support group. One of the biggest questions should be, is the support group geared towards a specific condition? And if so, does that condition really resonate with you? Does it serve you? You don't want to be joining a Shopaholics Anonymous support group if you're really dealing with grief. And you don't want to join a grief support group that deals with divorce or broken relationships if the grief that you're experiencing has to do with the death process, the loss of a significant other to a life-ending event. So other questions to be thinking about is the location and the meeting time convenient? Does it work with your schedule, and is it within reachability for you when your attendance is required for these groups? Some groups meet on a weekly basis, some meet every other week, and some even meet once a month. So what type of support group is it? What's the schedule? Where's the location? And does it matter that it's convenient or not for you? Is the group being facilitated or moderated? If you don't know the difference between the two, then it might take a little bit of additional information, additional education on what the difference is between the two leadership styles. So, and we'll definitely talk about that a little bit more in another series. Is the moderator or the facilitator or the leader of the group a mental health expert? Are they in the mental health field? So is it a support group? Is it a therapeutic support group? Are there confidentiality clauses? Is confidentiality something that is highly valued? Do you really want to be talking about your vulnerabilities and knowing that if somebody else in the group knows you or hears about your story, will share it outside of the group setting? So, having said that, does the group have established ground rules? Are there clear boundaries of what is expected in group as far as behavior and participation? And what are the consequences if those boundaries or those ground rules are broken? What does that mean to you? What does the meeting usually look like? Some meetings open up with a ritual, or end in some kind of ceremony, a remembrance ceremony, perhaps, or just inspirational quote or things of that nature. Is it free? Or is there a fee for the groups that are being provided? Certainly, some groups are subsidized by non-for-profits and organizations, and other groups, perhaps the ones that are more therapeutic, or the ones who provide continuing education credits or things like that, may have a fee attached to them. And so it's important to know, is there a fee attached to them? And even if you want to find out, what does the fee cover? What are you paying for if that's important for you? So One thing that I highly recommend is that before you decide if a group is definitely not for you, and I'll talk a little bit about exceptions to this, I recommend that each individual kind of tests out the group on a at least 3 to 4 times before they decide that the group is not for them. Now, certainly, there's exceptions to that rule. If it's a therapeutic group, then chances are there's going to be a screening to make sure that that group is going to serve your best needs and that you're a really good fit for that group, because a therapeutic group really kind of has a commitment attached to it. People are there because they want to be there, because they want to process, and because they want to heal and grow from where it's at, not just being supportive in the process. So there is a difference between that. If the group makes you really uncomfortable, and you really don't find it useful, then I'm going to say, there's nothing that says that you can't try another group, that you can't look for something that resonates more with your style and with your maybe your beliefs, or even your ethnic and cultural background, which again are other things that you should be considering when you're asking questions about joining a specific group. Does it meet your cultural and your ethnic backgrounds, or maybe your belief system and your basic values and morals? Does it go against any of those things? Because these are things that are really important. You can't create a connection if you have all these things that are interrupting the process or can become hang-ups in the process. So remember that even in support groups that like, love, and trust, that that things can change over time, and things usually change because as we grow, we change. Other times, it's because some participants may come and may go, and if you take the time to periodically reevaluate your needs and what the support group is providing for you, then you'd be able to notice the change, and you would also be able to know if you've outgrown that particular group. Now, having said that, I really want to bring awareness to the fact that part of what support groups are is different individuals being at different coping stages or different stages of acceptance through the situation that you're in. And that really lends itself to rich diversity when it comes to experiences in the support group. The fact that somebody else has been through what you are just now beginning to go through, and that they've survived it, really kind of instills hope, and it's part of the dynamics of a support group, is being able to go to a place where hope is generated, where you're able to see what you can look forward to the future. Those are the rich experiences that other people who have suffered some of the same things that you were suffering from have really been able to make it through. And their testimonies is part of your growth process, just as much as your story is part of your own growth process and the process to help others heal from their pain. So consider, though, that some groups may not be helpful and may even be harmful. So we'll talk about in another session what some of the red flags about support groups could possibly be that could lay the groundwork for those kind of negative and unhealthy coping styles. So, for instance, if you're looking for a hope and you're looking, to be optimistic about the future, do you really want to be in a group that is really pessimistic and harps on the hopelessness factor, on the sky is falling and it doesn't get any better than this? So don't feel obligated to keep attending the group if there's an internal conflict going on, if the group dynamics really don't work with you, um, you know, and if the dynamics are really upsetting, honor your intuition, honor your knowing. You have the right to explore and dig a little deeper, just like you have the right to really recognize that that whatever's being offered is not what's going to fulfill your personal needs. So find another group if that's the case, or maybe it's just a season part of the group that that kind of needs to be worked out, and by sitting it out, that might be enough to really give you a new perspective when you come back and join again. I'm hoping that some of these questions and ideas that I've brought up for you today, you have found helpful. Maybe it's generated some other questions that you might be thinking about, and I welcome that discussion in the Facebook forum. Please, if you have any curiosities or any kind of comments, questions, or concerns that you'd like to share, post them below. In the meantime, I welcome you to visit my website at www.livelifechange.com and sign up for the monthly newsletter to get more information on the grief recovery process and grieving mindfully. Thank you for joining me, and have a blessed day.